Hello YouTube, welcome to this installment of the Evian blog. So today I just thought I'd show you guys another one of the little portable toolkits that I have. I've been making a lot more of the smaller sort of toolkits purely for ease of carry at job sites, etc. So I have one for my networking and IT support, etc. I'll do a review of that at another stage, and then this is a more recent one that I've put together for electrical, that sort of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through what I've done with this toolkit, but before I do that I just want to talk a little bit about what it initially came with. Now this toolkit didn't come as it is now. I'm just grabbing some stuff out of the other box. Originally it came with these Linesman Pliers tools. This is one of the screwdrivers, but now look, these screwdrivers will definitely get the job done, but they are not great quality. In fact, they're not finished very well. Like if you look at the edgings, there's a lot of molding parts which cut your hands, etc. But in so saying, they'll get the job done. We'll do some insulation testing on these just now and just see how safe they really are. And then also it came with, as well as the screwdrivers, this set also came with a pair of pliers, a pair of side cutters, and a pair of needle nose, being these over here. Now, as you can see, they are branded Linesman, model CEP 180, so 180 millimeter. It's a combination pliers. I'm not sure if these are insulated handles or not because they don't say anything anywhere. So that's a bit of a guess. Also, it's this sort of plated steel, so you don't know what sort of steel it really is. Almost like a chromed sort of covering or something, electroplated cover or something like that. But what, again, we'll do an insulation resistance test on these handles with some tin foil around here and see if they are or will actually take up to 1000 volts. But now let's get down to this bag and how I've packed it and how I've set it up. Okay, first things first, in the front pouch over here, if we go inside here, I don't use it very often, and also I was getting a bit tight inside there. We have a wool. As you can see, it's got the nice quality sort of rivet, but anyway, this is the wool, 1000 volts, made in Germany, needle nose. We also have a TBM 8080 compact clamp meter inside here. One of these tools, it hasn't come out of its wrapper yet. It's a multi sort of opening tool used for various bits and bobs. And in any case, inside the main compartment we have a selection of electrical tools. Here we have another wool, 1000 volts, rated, made in Germany cutter. Here we have the Knipex 180mm pliers, very, very nice quality. These are all new for me, but the quality is outstanding. And then of course we have the Knipex multi-tool, which has got the wire shears, the stripper, needle nose pliers and everything. Probably the reason why the needle nose isn't in here is because of this pair of pliers here. This is just a little parts bin, a little contact screwdriver tester, Stanley knife, genuine Stanley knife. Then we got a couple of Weha insulated screwdrivers. Now these are the slim Weha. So let's just grab one of these out here. If you look at it, in fact, if you actually look at this, you'll see where those Linesman Titan screwdrivers copied a lot of the design, but the quality is just not the same. But why these are so special is look at that shaft, how it narrows down with the insulation, so you can get it into small gaps with circuit breakers, etc. Now these are Weha 1000 volt rated screwdrivers, but I know they are tested to, I think it's 10,000 volts or something. I can't remember now, but definitely worth the money. They're not cheap. In South Africa these retail for around 700-800 rand for the set, excluding this guy over here. That's just a terminal driver for me because although this set did come with one, I do find that I do a lot of terminals and so hence the reason why I got a small flat terminal driver, non-insulated. So yeah, there you have it. A nice little electrical toolkit for going in on the client's premises and getting stuck into any electrical faults, etc. Pretty much covers what you need on a day-to-day basis. You find the longer you do these sort of things, the more you narrow down the tools and equipment you use. Like I say, this pretty much encompasses most of what I would use on a day-to-day basis doing electrical work. If I'm doing more intensive installation work, etc., then yes, I may need a bit more than this, but for general faults, I can walk in with this into a client's home or whatever and sort out the issues and move on. I also, in combination with that, recently got a set of these Mastercraft, also VDE 1000 volts. It is the bit drivers. 2 different handles, different screwdrivers, and these have been holding up quite well. In fact, Mastercraft as a whole brand have been holding up for me very well in the past. I keep quite a few of their insulated screwdrivers as well in my primary electrical toolbox, and no issues at all. In fact, here is one of them. Now this one is about a year old, doesn't get used very often, but it's fact I don't think this one has been used. Let's rather show you the star, because I know that one has been. It's actually been abused, never mind used. And there you have it. You can see, although the tip shows signs of wear, it still retains its shape and works very, very well, keeping me safe and getting the work done. Fantastic tools for the money, so I can highly recommend Mastercraft as a brand to anybody out there looking for professional grade tools on a budget. I also like that they do have the rating on the top, or what sort of size and type of screwdriver it is, pretty much the same as the Weha. Another thing that these screwdrivers fell short with is there's nothing. They're just a basic run-of-the-mill sort of insulated screwdriver. But let's get interesting and do some installation testing on these cheaper tools and see how they stack up. I know these will make their rating, no problems at all. These 2 Nipexes are not insulated, but for what they are, I love them. That is insulated. I know not to cut live wires with these 2 over here, and I do dead testing before I do anything. Screwdrivers, however, you're sticking them into circuit breakers, sometimes live, sometimes not, grabbing them, pulling them out, and for that, there again, you can use that to pull the wire out, and the screwdriver. You can handle the wire quite safely, even if it is live. You shouldn't be doing it live, but even if it is live, you can do it. So let's do some insulation testing on these Helaman tools and see how they hold up. Okay, nothing too complicated here. We're just putting a clamp on, and then we're going to run an insulation test on this tool and see if it stands out. We've got 550 megohm, which is pretty decent. Let's take them a bit closer, because I see here that would be about the weakest point on this device, and we do a test again. And we're still showing 550 megohm at 500 volts. So let's up that to 1000 volts. 2.2 gigohm. No problems at all. It'll do the 1000 volts, I'm pretty sure. We could go and wrap this whole thing in tin foil and do the test, but I just wanted to test here where the weakest point was to see. As far as protection goes, you'll be well protected, I think, from anything up to sort of 500 volts safely, 1000 volts max. Yeah, sure enough. Let's check out the pliers. Right, here we have the pliers. Let's clamp that on there. Clamp that on there. 1000 volts, 2.2 gigohms. Let's move it around a little bit. 1000 volts, 2.2 gig ohms. Weak point, 2.2 gig ohms. Yeah, although it doesn't say it's electrically insulated, I think you'll get by quite alright. I wouldn't rely on the insulation, but you'd probably survive as long as this insulation is in, well, this rubber handle is in good condition. I think you'll be okay. So I think these are rated to a voltage, but they just haven't actually been rated or tested yet. So it's just interesting to see that they will stack up to 1000 volts without much of an issue. So yeah, there you have it, just some testing that I thought I'd do today, just to check out those tools and see if they are worth the small amount of money you spend on them. I mean, those screwdrivers are 300 Rand a set. In fact, that whole tool bag with the pliers, needle nose, side cutters, the set of Linesman Titan screwdrivers, Stanley knife, the multi-tool, and a few other bits and bobs, that whole set was 700 Rand. Well, less than 700 Rand. So yeah, definitely worth the money. For me, not necessarily. I don't like the feel of their sort of tools, but I will use them because I have them now until they die, and I still have my decent tools as well. So thanks for watching, everybody, and until next time, take care. Just while we're on the topic of pliers, I thought I'd talk a little bit about something. Now, these Stanleys, they may not be insulated or something, but you know, I've got a lot of insulated pliers and screwdrivers and stuff like that. But when you're doing terminations or something in the electrical field, your linesman's pliers do come in a lot. And for that reason, I'm going to show you a few differences between a conventional combination and a linesman. Now, between these two, if I'm installing on dead circuits, I would use this tool over here. If you told me to install on live circuits and I had no choice, this would be the one I'd use. But in so saying, there shouldn't be a need to work on live circuits all the time. So, just a few things to note. Now, this tool is brand new. It's never been out in the field. If we get in quite close over here, we can see the jaw structure of this thing, the grind, etc. Doesn't look spectacular, but like I said, it'll get the job done. Also, the teething over here is very fine compared to, say for an example, the Stanley. Now this Stanley's been through a lot. You can actually see the copper residue from bending and twisting wire and whatever else it's been doing over the years. But also you'll notice that the teeth are a lot less fine, and the fact that it still has its teeth and they're still in good condition speaks a testament to the sort of steel that was used by the Stanley tool. Another thing you will notice, there's quite a large difference between the two when it comes to the working end of the tool. The Stanley is designed for gripping, wire, bending over. And why it's so important is, I'm going to show you a bit of something. Let me just grab some wire. I'm in the tendency when I'm terminating copper wire, especially solid core copper wire, and you're putting it in a screw, what tends to happen is the screw will slip down the side. This will slip to the side, not making a proper contact in the DB, etc. And this is where your Linesman pliers comes in handy. Now, I'll usually just grab it, bend it around a little bit, put it into the Linesman, and it would grip perfectly with the teeth. Give it a good squeeze, and we're good to go. A very nice made end. There we go. It's ready to be screwed in. Not much damage to the wire, etc. You can see I've done another one here. It's neat, it's tidy, and it also fills the gap quite nicely. So these tools, if they're not done right, I'm telling you, you're going to battle. With this here, you may get the job done. Let's give it a go. Just clip that off. I suppose with experience you can use anything, but let's give it a go. It doesn't feel as grippy, but it grips alright. But okay, it's not doing quite what I wanted. Again, it's all to do with how the grips work and how it's letting it slip. However, if you were to use it in the combo part, it might work a bit better. But yeah, there you go. You can get it done, marring up the copper a little bit, but it'll do the job. I suppose if you get used to it, it would probably be alright. So for that reason alone, I always say, I mean, this Stanley tool over here, not insulated, nothing fancy, Linesman Pliers. This tool here sets you back about 200 Rand in the stores, but definitely worth the money. This tool over here is probably going to set you back about 70, 80 Rand, and it even feels lighter than the Stanley tool. So definitely spend a little bit more money and get quality tools. If you can't afford it, by all means, this will do the job for you, but don't expect it to work as well as a proper tool. Also, being an electrical toolkit, this isn't a proper electrical plier. It's a standard combination pliers, which is odd because I would have thought at least a Linesman style pliers would have applied in an electrical toolkit. But that's just my 2 cents. Again, these tools, there's nothing wrong with them. Time will tell. They seem pretty sturdy, pretty strong, but only time can tell, I suppose, how they will stack up, and we'll let you know. Thanks for watching, everybody.